So all bar 1 or 2 pages, I've pretty much finished this journal, and I'm actually calling it finished because it's getting really too chunky and I'm finding it really difficult when I turn it over onto the left side to push it over. So for the sake of 2 pages, I'm just calling it done. So I thought I might do a journal flip so you can see what's in my journal. I'm just going to warn you now that it'll probably be quite long because I do have a tendency to ramble. So what I've done is there's this video which is the long one where I tell you how I did each page, etc, etc. So if you don't want to watch me rambling, just stop watching now and head over to my just go to my channel and I'll upload another video which is literally just stills and a really quick flip through, so that won't be long at all. So if you want to cut the chat, head on over there. Journal is an altered book. It was a hardback storybook, and I know some book lovers will probably really go, oh my god, at that. But it's a hardback book that I'd read. It was a fairly modern book. It wasn't a classic or anything. And I'd read it, and I wouldn't have read it again. It was one of those books, it was a one-time only read, and it was only destined to the charity shop, so I thought I'd give it a new lease of life and turn it into my journal. So because it's a fairly modern book, the signatures in it were glued in, so it's come away from the spine there. I mean, that's a combination of the gluing, which is quite a new modern kind of binding technique. They used to be sort of sewn in, so that's came away, and mistreatment. But what I did is I had this necklace with this pendant on that I got as a freebie when I bought something from Etsy, and I really like it as a pendant, but it's not kind of as the sort of jewellery piece that I would wear. So what I did is I thread it through my book, so I've just got like a little dangly bit that sticks out at the bottom there, which I thought was quite cool. So I took the dust jacket off and I covered it with just some scrapbooking paper, and I have no idea what this is, but it's just little bees. I have to admit I don't tend to embellish my journals all that much. I particularly don't put anything 3D on there, for the reason, like, you know, when you turn over I find it difficult sometimes. And I just quite like plainish journals. I kind of let the inside do the talking. I like pretty journals, but not like over embellished journals. So I've just done the same on the back, and then on the spine it's just some black gaffer tape, so that's all. And as you can see, it's kind of at the spine there, it doesn't even sit straight anymore, it sits a wonk, and I have to kind of level it up, so you can see why I've finished with this one. So all my pages I pre-gessoed, and so what I did when I prepared the book, if you don't already know how to do this with altered books, is I removed every other page from the book, so just tore it out, and then I then stuck 2 pages together. So I'd already halved the amount of pages in there by ripping them out, and I halved it again by gluing them together, so literally a quarter of the pages in the book. And to be honest with you, I may have pulled out a few more along the way, but I can't actually remember because I don't think there's that many pages in here to warrant that. So, and all of the pages I gessoed first, just to kind of give the page that kind of bit more of a coating, and to stop some of the paint or alcohol inks or whatever bleeding through. So everything's already been pre-gessoed. And then, as you'll see, I'll show you, I kind of altered it a little bit, only not a lot, just a little bit as I went along. So let's begin. There are a few pages that are, I mean, I show most of my pages, but there are a couple of pages that for me were just a little bit too personal and I didn't want to share, so I have skipped over them. But there's only 5 pages, so and I've just paper clipped them to another page, so just so you know that when I'm flipping through. So I haven't actually worked out what I'm going to do yet, but the first thing I actually did was I made a pocket there just by gluing the ends of 2 pages together. I don't know why, and I don't know what I'm going to put in it, but it's there if I want to do anything with it. So there you go, I'll try and linger a bit. I'll try and be as steady as I possibly can. I'm still using my phone, still haven't been able to afford to buy a new little point and shoot camera yet. But as soon as I do, I'll be doing my videos with that. So this was, I started this journal, I don't want to bore everybody, but in December I was really poorly, and I ended up having a week in hospital. I had pneumonia and a bit of my lung collapsed, and anyway, I'm loads better now, but you know, recovery can be quite slow sometimes. And I started this particular journal back in March, and here in the UK we had quite a cold snap, we had quite a bit of snow, and my kind of pneumonia flared up a little bit again, and I was feeling really sorry for myself. So the first thing I did was start a new journal, and the very first page was "Cheer up, Buttercup," because I was feeling sorry for myself. And you know what? It was really good therapy. You know, I tend to keep a written journal for lots of detailed writing, and my art journal tends to be more visual with kind of more quotes to kind of sum up how I'm feeling. But that's just how I'm journaling at the moment. So. And this was just a case of smearing loads of paint all over the place. I literally just did that with no rhyme or reason in place. I smeared it, and then I kind of thought that some little flowers were emerging, so smeared paint all over the place. I've got some printing there with bubble wrap, and then I just took my black pen and doodled and made some buttercups. Cheer up, Buttercup, that's sorry. So this next page probably sums up more of how I was feeling, because she's a little bit glum and a little bit down, and that's kind of how I was feeling, to be honest with you. But as I say, a bit of art journaling is a really good way to help you with those feelings. The face is mainly, the white is mainly gesso, and then I used my Crayola, I can't ever say this word, Crayola watercolour pencils to create her face. And then the purple background is just a bit of acrylic paint, and then these flowers were just white poster paint pen for doodling. And these two pages of paper clipped together because I don't want to show the one in the middle, because that's just too personal, as I say. This page I've already shared on my blog, but you may not have seen that. It's just my Easter page, and it's just, I basically just painted the whole page pink. Oh no, actually I found this through the post. I got this this piece of ephemera with loads of bunnies and eggs on it, so I stuck that in my journal, and then I painted the page pink, and I used some bubble wrap and some acrylic paint and did some stamping. And over on this page I painted my bunny. As you'll see, I paint bunnies a lot. Bunnies are I'm really inspired by bunnies, so I paint them a lot. They pop up everywhere. So here was acrylic, and they're nearly all the same style as well, my bunnies. And then the scarf there, it turned out really dull, but that was just a catalogue that came through the post with with a patchwork bedspread in it, and that's what that is. I just cut that up and pasted that down. So there we go. Bunnies are cuddly, the large and the small, but I like the chocolate one the best of them all. Happy Easter. Okay. I don't think I've shown this page before, but it's just quite a simple one. It's just playing with some those Crayola watercolour pencils again, and as I say, they're really cheapies. They're from the kids range, but I love them. I think they're great. And here's just some deco tape. So there, nothing really that complex with that. Today I'll be happier than a bird with a French fry. There we go. In a much happier frame of mind there. But, you know, that's what journaling's all about, you know, your own self-expression. So, apologise for that if anybody is offended. I did draw, on this page, I did draw boobies. So I'll try and block them out, because I know it's a drawing, but still some people do get offended by that. And again, she was just created with the Crayola watercolour pencils, and they're just cheap children's pencils, but look at the colour of the green. I love the colour of the green, and I'm just really impressed with how they turn out. So So yeah, I love them. I don't know if you can hear squeaking in the background, but I have 2 guinea pigs and they live in the house most of the time, and the back door's open and they've just come in from the back door, and they usually squeak like that to let me know they're coming in and they want food. They'll have to wait a bit. They've got a bowl full of dried food, so they can wait for a while until they get some cucumber. This page I don't really like, but I'm showing it to you still because, you know, you don't have to like all the pages you create. And there we go, but it's all part of your process and all part of your development. I mean, I don't really know what I was thinking and what the background is behind this one. I can't remember. I think I was literally just playing, but you know, you don't have to like everything you create. This one kind of came about from my background. I had some leftover paint from something else I was doing, and I just stuck it all down on, you know, in blobs on the page, just went like that, just like that. And then I just used like a piece of cardboard and just scraped it across, and then I just put the page across and went smudge, smudge, smudge like that to get this bizarre background. And then I didn't really know what I was going to do with it, and I sort of struggled for a while, and I do that a lot. I kind of look at pages and don't know where it's going. You can see some of the texture in that's on my hand, the palm of my hand print. And then I have a sketchbook, and I was just doodling one day and this little girl popped out, this little vintage looking Alice, and so I just stuck her in the background. And what did I write? Sometimes I feel like I've joined Alice in Wonderland, because nothing is ever as it appears, and it's all a little bit curious, and being mad certainly does help. Which I think that sums up life in general, really. So, moving on. Some more doodles. These were pro markers, and I remember doing this when I was just sat on the sofa with my pro markers and just doodled, and I think sometimes you have the most fun doing that. You know, just doodling, not really worrying where it's going or what have you. And I really like her, and I think sometimes when you try to create a page, you try too hard and it doesn't work out. Whereas when you're just doodling for the sake of doodling, I think sometimes you end up with some really good results. But you know, that might just be me. And after all, who am I really? So I don't really know. I don't really know what's in my head at the time. I don't think anyone really wants to know what's in my head at any given time. And then the dots were just a piece of punchinella or sequin mesh and just an ink pad, and I just put the sequin mesh on the top and just use the ink pad and just zhuzhed over it like that. So quite simple, but I really like the effect. There we are. More bunnies. As I say, they just pop up everywhere. This is the style of bunny that I usually create. I just love my bunnies. I've got 2 bunnies as well as 2 guinea pigs, but they're outside in the garden. Bless them. So yeah. This page came about because I literally, from the leftover from the Alice in Wonderland page, I just scraped some more of that leftover page, and I really didn't know what to do with it, and I was sort of kind of sat on the sofa, because during my recovery I've had a lot of time just chilling out and relaxing on the sofa, which is kind of how I got into YouTube, really, because I spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos because daytime telly is just rubbish, and I was just really inspired by people who put themselves out there and stuff, so that's kind of why I started to YouTube, really. So I was just sat on the sofa and I had my journal and a black pen, and I just started doodling and just to see what came out, really. I'm really inspired by Zentangling, but I just, so far I haven't been able to let myself go and get myself free enough to do that yet, so this is kind of the closest that I've got. But this is just kind of just a bit of doodling, and I thought it ended up looking like a dandelion, so I just wrote, open your eyes, what do you see? Do you see a life of magic, of wishes, dreams and opportunities, or do you see chaos and weeds? And then there's my doodle on the other side. And then I just stuck some of these Tim Holtz tags on there, so like a little things that sticks out of the book, which I thought looked quite cool. We turn over. Again, another time just sitting on the sofa, felt like I wanted to create and didn't know what I wanted to create. And so I had my blue biro and I just started to doodle, and then at a later time I just went over, and I don't know why I did this, because I've kept journals all my life really, and in my teen years I used to do this kind of thing, but I was sat there one day and I kind of thought, it's been a while since I did this, and I don't know, with my health and everything, I kind of wanted to capture who I am and where I am right now. So I just decided to write down things that I'm into and things that I love, and this kind of came about. And it's kind of, for where I am in my life at the moment, it was quite unexpected, I have to say, because I'm 32 now, and this is the sort of thing I was doing when I was like 14, so I really don't know where it came from. But anyway, it's there and it's documented, and you know, I'll share it with you guys. You can see it says, my loves, there are many things I love, as well as my friends and family, and these are them, and not in order, just in case you didn't realise that. Stars and moon and the night sky, because I really like astronomy and looking at the stars and pictures of the cosmos. Bunnies, guinea pigs, or pinny gigs as I call them. Rainbows and moonbows, afternoon tea, yoga and meditation, children's literature, dreams, hopes and wishes, myth, magic and whimsy, fairies and fae folk, mermaids, unicorns, the rain, the sound of it and watching it, the shapes in clouds, thunder, the fair, and candy floss. And it does continue over to the other page. I know this is a bit random. And this here, I created another pocket here, and I actually accidentally ended up sticking this in rather than keeping it in loosely. This is a Valentine's card that I made for my husband for Valentine's Day, because I'm a bit frugal, and I made it, and I just kind of, it's a piece of my artwork, so I just kind of thought, oh, I'll put that in my journal after Valentine's Day was over. So that's kind of where it went in. So it's just a flip. As I say, it's supposed to come out, but then I accidentally stuck it in, so never mind. But yeah, another bunny. As you see, they pop up all over the place. So that's the spread. So just finishing off the list. There's a bit of deco tape on there. So VWs, we've got a split screen van, a pink one. I'll show you a picture one day. Music, the beach, anywhere, any season. I love the beach, not only in the summer but also in the winter for the walks. I love it. Glastonbury, my welly boots, ice cream, pizza, my collection of rust trolls, a steaming bowl of homemade soup, and more deco tapes. That's just a little bit of me and my personality for you there. That's nice for you. And then just a random fairy. If you check out my YouTube channel, I did a review on a book. I'm not sure if it's on my YouTube channel yet or if it's on my blog. A review on drawing fantasy characters, and this was one of my test pieces. And as I say in the book, I don't actually rate the book all that much for me personally, because it was more of a way to copy their style rather than develop your own. But that was just my opinion. Anyway, I hope you haven't drifted off to sleep yet. As I said, I did say it'd be long. I'm going to talk this one's really quickly because I did a YouTube speed through process on this. So if you're interested in how that was done, check out my video on YouTube. And these, I made two pockets in here. One there with some bit of journaling in, just tucked in, and I'm not going to show you that because it's quite personal. And another one here with a picture in it. So there. Okay. And I think it's important to just be able to create for you what you want to do, rather than worry about sharing it with anybody, because at the end of the day it's your journal, it's private to you. And that's what I've done. You know, it's the things that are really private to me. I've just paperclipped the 2 pages together, so I'm not, you know, there's another page in there, so I'm not going to show it. And I think that's fair enough, because journaling is a form of self-expression for you. So I think you just need to be able to be free to just create for you, and, you know, share what you want to share, if you know what I mean. Anyway, rambling. This was another one that I did a YouTube speed through process for. So again, if you want to see how I put this page together, go and check that out. And I don't know about you, but I have found that I am at my most happiest with a tub of glue or matte medium and a brush and loads of things to stick down. I just love it, and I don't know why. I'm just at my happiest, and this page is created with randomness that I found on my desk while clearing up. Like this here, this is a note card that I doodled all over, and some deco tape, and this bit here, this was some paper towel that I'd mopped up some previous paint with, and you know, so it's just, this page is just, this was like the inverse of a stencil I used on another project, and so this page is a mishmash of other projects, but you know, it's just so freeing, and I just really enjoyed it. And you know, as partly, I'm going to turn it around so you can read it. See, I've put be who you are, and then a little girl, which doesn't actually look like me, but you know. But it's just, you know, you know, I think you just, again, you need to just let yourself go and do what makes you happy. Don't worry about showing it to other people. Just create for you and for whatever makes you happy, whatever is your therapy. And if it's like me, just gluing random stuff down, then, you know, albeit. And this page just turned out to be a happy accident, really, which is great. And I love it, because, alright, it's not the most artily, is that word, brilliant, but to me it means something, because it was good therapy and I just really enjoyed it. So this one I haven't shown on YouTube, but I did put it on my blog, so if you haven't seen that already, again, the hair is just made up of, but like, I collaged loads of random pieces of paper, and then I just blanked it out to make the hair. And she's quite translucent as well, so you can kind of see the layers behind her as well. There she is, and then just the layers in the hair. When I'm creating a piece, I tend to put like a piece of paper there in my book that hangs out, so that when I'm brushing with the paint over it, it kind of goes onto that and doesn't drip down into my previous artwork. But then I save all those pages, and that's what these were. These are just sort of like pages of mopped up paint, but you know, I think it's great the way it's turned out, really. And I really like her. Some people said she was miserable, but I like her. I think she shows some of her soul. And she says, seeing is believing, believing is seeing. So yeah. Moving on, this is another one that I did a speed through video on, so go check that out on my channel. And this is just some more doodling. Don't know why, just felt like doodling, so I did. And as I said, you know, sometimes there's a big biro and then I just went over it with watercolour paper, watercolour paint. And you know, sometimes you just have the most fun when you just doodle. You know, just doodle for no reason other than just doodling's sake, and I find it quite fun. And we went on a rare date night, which is really rare for us, as I say, because I've been ill. We haven't really been out much, and I got taken out to Pizza Hut by my lovely hubby, and it just really meant a lot to me, because we hadn't been out because I've been poorly and everything. So I stuck the receipt in there. And then there's just another one of those Tim Holtz token tags there. This was me just kind of playing around with some watercolour paint. I keep saying paper when I mean paint, but you know what I mean. So yeah, just The earth laughs in flowers. Nothing really much to say about that one. This page I showed some more of if you check out my YouTube channel. This one's under the video called Mixed Media Challenge. And so I just kind of explain how that came about in that if you want to watch that one. Another bunny, and this one again I did as a YouTube sped through process, so if you want to see me making that one then head over and look at that video. I keep saying this because I don't want to make this really long. If you've already seen these, you don't want me to go through them again. You know, so just check out those videos if you're interested. More playing with some watercolour, and these things here, I drink a brand of tea called Yogi tea. It's a herbal tea, and on the tags they have all these different sayings, which I thought was quite cool, so I just stuck them in my book, which I thought was a bit funky. Yeah, so just playing with my watercolour, really. The greatest oak was once a little nut who held his ground. I'm just waiting for it to focus again a bit more. There you go. So sorry about that focusing, don't know why. Oh, this was, oh, I don't even love that sound, that creaky. Oh, it's not going to do it now. That sticking sound. Again, this was another one of my, in my own head, in my own little daydream world, gluing and sticking things down. I had a package that came from Malaysia and I just really liked these stamps, so I glued them in. And then that formed the basis for the rest of the page. It's just random ephemera that was on my desk at the time, some deco tape. Totally random. No rhyme or reason, just sticking it all down, and then out of acrylics. No, I think it's a mix of acrylics, gesso, and watercolour. And this little lady. This is another one that I did a YouTube video on, so go and check her out if you're interested. Oh, this was made by random paint left over from the previous page that I just stuck in, and then I just went like that with my page and it all blobbed everywhere, and oh my gosh, it had no meaning for me, no direction, had no idea what I was going to do with it, and I literally, so lazy, I found this quote in a magazine, and so I just cut it out and stuck it down, and that's it, you know. I just couldn't bring myself to work on this page. I don't know why, so I'm just leaving it and calling it done. This is supposed to be fun, so just walk away. If it doesn't do anything for you, just, you know, move on. Don't sweat the big stuff over it, you know. This one I love. She is watercolour pencil. Those Crayola watercolour pencils again for her face, and just Winsor & Newton watercolour paint for her hair, and then the background is black acrylic, and then I wrote on it with white poster paint pen. So, turn your face to the sun and all the shadows fall behind you. Okay. So this is what I mean about I tuck a page in between. So as you can see here, this has got like, that was those random blotches of colour that I said from before. I had them on there as a palette, and then I just squidged that in. So yeah, I tuck that in my book like that when I'm painting, and then it just picks up anything, and I keep these, and then I just use them at a later date for collage. A little tip there. That was me just cleaning off my brush. Exciting. This is the last page that's not finished, but it's just made me happy. Just a random collection of things. We went to a so we've got a VW van, and we went to a VW show at the weekend, and I picked up some bits there, so I just glued it all down. So a bit of a postcard there with a beetle on, and that was actually a business card, but I thought it was quite fitting. Summer of Love, that was cut out from a magazine, and then that flowery border was cut out from a magazine. So yeah, Oh, this is wrapping paper that I then did some oil pastels over and then gessoed over the whole thing, so it kind of muted down the oil pastels to a background. But I've got to the point now where I don't really know where this is going. So, and then I've just got a couple of pages there, and so as you can see, it's just, you know, it's just so hard on this side now to get down here. So I'm basically calling this journal done and I'm going to start on a new one. So there, so I hope you weren't too bored and you found it interesting. I always find it really interesting to see what other people create in their journals, and I love it. I'm so nosy. I say this all the time on my blog. I'm so nosy that I love all the like studio tour videos and what's in my art journal bag and art journal flip throughs. I love it. So thank you to all those people who have like shared some of themselves out there. It's been really great. I've enjoyed looking at your work and I really appreciate it. And as I say, like, that's what I watched during my recovery, and that really helped me as well. So just a big thank you to everybody on YouTube who's put videos out there. So, and thank you for those who have stuck with this video and are still watching. So thank you for all your support. I'm going to crack on now with a new journal, and I shall probably be doing some more process videos and a flip through when that's done. So thanks for watching, everybody.